So thank you for being here with us. I know this is an unscheduled presentation, but we have had several complaints, and the complaint is not everybody can fit in, not everybody can get their sounds done, we're not doing enough, we need more, and so we decided to do another live presentation on command, I guess you would say, for a couple of reasons. Mike Adams sent us information about a very high level of radiation coming to the West Coast. And we thought if we can sort of get out ahead of this and get the software in the people's hands, there has been a new study by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the Pacific Marine Environmental Laboratory recently constructed models designed to show the impact of Fukushima. They discovered that within the next few years, the worst of Fukushima's radiation release will make its way across the Pacific and hit the American coastline. So-called packets of radiation are also expected to continue forming as the larger plumes travel via the ocean currents, which could result in highly radioactive waves of ocean water striking the West Coast beaches in the very near future. Within 1 year, it will spread over the entire western half of the North Pacific, and in 5 years, we predict will reach the U.S. West Coast, says Klaus Boning, co-author of the study about the Fukushima radiation release. The levels of radiation that hit the U.S. coast will be small relative to the levels released by Fukushima, but we cannot actually estimate what those levels will be because we don't know for certain what was released. I just did a research project last week about a system in the body called ubiquitin, and it shows that the body's system of ubiquitin, which means the body rebuilding itself after damage or recycling its parts, like stomach acid being reused to make thyroid medication or thyroid hormones, that stops happening when there's something called polonium. Polonium is a radioactive material that's at the base of every nuclear reaction, which means that it is at the base of the Fukushima reactor explosion, disaster, whatever you want to call it. I will put this link, I think I already have, but I will put this link into the chat for all of you so that you can go read this article yourself. You can share it with your friends, because we need to get this out to people, even if it's just a very simple radiation program. This is coming. It's already here. And when we begin to look at some of the things that have been said about it and some of the things that Dr. Apsley has said about it, and he's been on our show many times, and Dr. Apsley is also the one that has said Sherry Edwards' work defines the foundational principles that defied Einstein. So he's very supportive of our work. He's known about it for 20-some years when he saw us work with a little Down syndrome girl. So some of the things that he's saying, and I tested his voice because I didn't believe this stuff, that, and by the way, polonium is from Russia, and they are the ones that originally separated it. And it shows that Fukushima is 50 times as devastating as Chernobyl. He goes on and talks about it exposes us to free radicals. It's thrown into the air, and that the damage is actually linked to damage that happens nearly 25 years later. Now, we will put these articles, I've already sent them to the web person, we'll send these articles over to the radiation download. So anybody who wants that radiation download, we're keeping it up 24/7, soundhealthoptions.com/radiationclass.html. Send that to anybody you know. The registration is right online. Now, some people's computers don't have the right Excel function on it. So if you happen to not be able to register, call us and we'll just tell you which program that you really need to use with your program to make this work. Now, he's saying that Fukushima is 4 or 5 times, I think he said 50 times, as deadly, 50 times as deadly as Chernobyl. And you could see on the TV people's skin dropping off of them with that. Within a year after Chernobyl, the air currents were shown to end up in Massachusetts. The infant death rate of Massachusetts spiked 900%. This was published by a top researcher at the University of Pittsburgh, Ernest Sternglass. In Washington State, the increase was about 200%, and an article by Joe Mangano, and there's the link for that. There's another one I wanted to talk about, thyroid. Here's one. Infant leukemia in the U.S. increased by 30% within a year after the Chernobyl event. En masse, people were becoming low thyroid, and stayed that way, which leads to chronic degenerative disease throughout the lifespan. Thyroid cancer in Connecticut went up 94%. Fukushima has 7 reactors blow up as compared to 1 in Chernobyl, so you can expect to see far greater effects than those tracked after Chernobyl. The west coast of the U.S. will bear the brunt of what is coming toward the U.S. Now, we will have that article up for you, or you can write to me and I will send it to you just right after this presentation, SherryEdwards@gmail.com. I wanted to share with you also something that we had done with Obama. And Obama says that nobody in the U.S. is at risk. That is directly flies in the face of what the research says. This indicates that he is concerned. G is physical safety. He is concerned. He wants to do something about it. Nearly egoless here about this, except in blue, and that's very unusual for him. So you begin to look at the vocal graphs on down the road about Fukushima, and this one shows that he has considerable hidden information within the framework of what he's showing and what he's saying. Strong separation in his thinking and how he's responding. And this is the little nano voice. If we have new people on with us tonight, this is just the nano voice. So you can go look at this yourself. Yes, we have new people on with us. You can look at this, read the information, see the pieces are gone. He has no plan whatsoever, that's F sharp, no plan to take care of this. He wants justice, but it's a fantasy. He doesn't know how to get it, so maybe he just wants people not to have to worry right now. Looking at this one, radiation 3, ego. Ego, ego, ego going on here. So we went down through here looking at all of these pieces. He still doesn't have a foundation about it. And I don't want to waste time reading this whole thing because it's about 6 pages long. But here's something that I thought was very interesting. This is his guy, Gregory, J-A-C-Z-K-O. I don't know if that's Jocko or what, but I sort of got his head kind of elongated, and I should change that out. He says And he's the chairman of the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, states that radiation in Japan is extremely high. We believe that radiation levels are extremely high, which could possibly impact the ability to take corrective measures. I think that one was March 16th. Next day, March 17th. Same guy, people. Except now I have his head too skinny there, too. Next day, states at a White House press conference, the basic physics tell us there is no risk to persons in the U.S., Hawaii, and any other U.S. territory just because of basic science involved. Poppycock, look on the internet. You can see where everything is flowing. This guy hopes that's the truth, but it really isn't. He's emotionally involved here. There is unbalance in the sky, and I will send you this, or we'll have it posted for you right after what we're doing this evening. I also want to share with you a chart, and we will put this up for you so you can make copies and send it to all of your people. These are the isotopes that are involved in Fukushima. The other one, polonium, I didn't know about. It's not been reported in any of the news or any of the explosions, but if you read about it, it says it is the base of any nuclear reaction and explosion like that. So we will revise this. I'll do it tonight and get the polonium on there and get this back to you, because when you look at the evidence, when you look at the mathways that we have put together, is Moonstone on here? She's usually with us. Was anybody else with us on the Sunday class? I don't see anybody I recognize here. Beth, you were with us on the Sunday class, weren't you? Let me see if I can get you a microphone. Beth, were you with us on Sunday class? This Sunday class is for professionals, people who have taken the professional class. And any new stuff that we get, we announce there and give people information about it. So I guess Beth is not at her microphone here. Anybody can come to this, but that special class on Sunday is a little different. And for those of you who just came in, I put in the chat, yes, you were there. Can you open your mic and talk to people a little bit without giving away the frequencies? Okay, go ahead, Beth. I'm talking about the afternoon professional class, Beth. Not for those of you who were there in the evening Guardian class. Beth has her hand up. Okay, your mic is open, Beth. Can you give, maybe you need to hold down your control to talk. Oh, wait a minute, I remember, you know, I heard somebody come on and talk, but then they disappeared. Can you put in the chat, a line or two about what that class was and how profound it is to really testing people and looking at what's going on with their radioactive exposure? Beth, how about if I give you a phone number? Can you call in? And we'll just do it that way since we're having trouble with the microphone. We'll just have everybody call in. That will work. Nope, that's the office number. Sorry. Okay, there's the studio number. So if you call that in, we can get you directly on air. In the meantime, looking at what this chart is, a competitor is something that vies for the same place. When you look at your cell and you have cell receptors for oxygen and nutrients and all this stuff, if you get exposed to cesium-137, Beth, is that you?
Yes, that's me, Sherry.
Just hang on a minute, okay? When you can you turn your probably your speaker off? So
I think Gina just said.
okay, that's great. I have one sentence. If you get exposed to cesium-137, it takes up the receptor site first before asparaginase and even glutamic acid, which is a similar frequency. So your body begins not to detox well. And the antidote here is D3, dry vitamin D. Okay, Beth, would you talk a little bit about that Sunday professional class?
Well, sure, unfortunately, I cannot find my notes that I took on it. I just do remember that you were able to give us the way out, how to neutralize everything. And I think for those that may be listening at our just and for the first time, one application that they might understand is that when you get on an airplane and you get noise-canceling earphones, what those things basically do is it interprets what the frequency of the background noise is, and it plays the opposite number of that in order to neutralize and give you perfect silence and bring it back into balance. And that's what you do. Your program does. It takes the frequency of, let's say, something that is radioactive, and then it gives you the opposite or the reciprocal to balance it out. So it puts us into a position of no longer being terrorized by these things, as long as we have access to be able to hear from you what's out there, and that you have a lovely, safe frequency mode to neutralize all of those things. I think it's probably the single most important discovery that I would know of, and I've been studying natural health and things for probably about 15 years, and I believe that this is the very best of it all. I am really ecstatic about it, and so there really isn't any reason for us to walk around terrified about what's coming at us. There is a way around it, and so many people that are extremely knowledgeable are validating your work, including what you just said. I forgot, who was it recently? Was it AT&T that was saying that this is the wave of the future for health? So even though what I have loved about this, Sherry, is that when we're looking at what could be forthcoming with Obamacare in 2014, it's extremely intimidating. But this gives us the mode and means to stay out of the system and stay so well that we don't even need to access that system at all. So, yes, I think that the very fact that the Sunday class is for participants who are taking this seriously and wish to get their own health up and running and help everybody else, yes, it is stunning, it is amazing, and it is above science-based. So I'm all for it, and the more that I study it, the more I find that you are so unique. This is a God-ordained. This is, even the Bible says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. And this is the time and the season, and you've got the answer to it. So I'm sorry that I cannot find my notes. I'm just walking in the door from shopping, can't even find my glasses. So, but I'm awfully happy to be a testimonial for your process at any time, Sherry. God bless you.
Thank you, Beth. That was wonderful. It's not quite the question I wanted you to answer, but that was wonderful. No, that's okay.
With a lot of other interviews, and I'm just walking in the door, so I'm not sure where you were headed with it, but as I said, I haven't been able to find my notes to validate what it is you want, but, oh, yes, you did give us the frequencies to countermand the negative radiation that is coming at us.
Well, one of the things that we covered on that Sunday professional class was the system of ubiquinone and how it works in the body and how it's being countered by radioactive isotopes so that the body's not able to recycle itself. And that that was a very significant piece to anybody's repertoire or protocols that's using this in a professional manner. Now, we use frequency, but this chart can do it with nutrients. So, Beth, while we have you on the line, can we do your vocal friends?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I will move this over, and we will start. I don't think Moon is with us. She types everything in for me. We're going to start with something called Audacity, and you can download this from, Lawrence or somebody, will you type this in for me? You can download this from audacity.sourceforge.net. So we're going to get Beth to give us a 30-second vocal print, and there is a textbook. I just gave you a link. Wait, okay, that's the link for this WebEx. Let me do Audacity, audacity.sourceforge.net. Now you can download this program from there. And I put a comma, but that really should be, and I sent it to Beth anyway, and I wanted to send it to everybody. Okay, I'm going to go back and send it to everybody, and I'll correct it. How important this ubiquitin information was.
Oh, yes, all right. Okay. All right, let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm just typing this in. Or you can talk about your day, too. I'm going to do, wait a minute, SourceForge, F-O-R-G-E. I'm sitting here in the dark and I'm having trouble talking. Okay. All the instructions are in the little basic textbook, so when you go to our site, let's do that first, and show them where this is. You go to soundhealthoptions.com, my headphones back on, /radiation, RADIATION class.html. So we go there, and this is where you get the download of the software that we're just going to use. Go down to the middle there, and you see a blue and a yellow text or little picture, well, a little bigger than a postage stamp. Double click on it, and you can download the textbook. All free, guys. Why? It has to be done. Somebody has to pick up the pieces and make the people important and make our health important. Make it so that we can go on after generations and not be polluted and, what do you call it, when your genetics get so distorted that we aren't going to have a humanity anymore. Okay. Beth, I'm going to put this back to you now. So talk for 30 seconds.
Thank you, Sherry. Well, I guess I'll just tell you for one thing that I never did have a lot of radiation exposure, that is through x-rays and that type of thing. I've always known that they were very harmful to the body. However, I did not understand that it is being bombarded on us through those with ulterior motives. And so it's going to show up in nearly everyone's voices, especially after the Fukushima issue. So to have a program that can identify what's there and to be able to have a frequency that counteracts that, hallelujah.
Okay. Beth is used to doing this. She's a practitioner. She knows 30 seconds is long enough, anywhere between 30 and 15 and 30 seconds. So I'm going to do Beth and on radiation. And we're going to file her under our GNS file. And when you go, listen to our free online classes. And we just had one on adrenal. No, that was a Guardian. Our free one this time was Nano. But you can go to our site and watch that free radiation class, and you'll see all these instructions as well as having them in a book. So the stuff there is pretty easy once you get the hang of it. It's just step by step until you get those steps down. So All we did was record her talking about something, and it's in radiated foods too. So any foods that go across state lines now gets radiated. So I'm not going to kill that. I'm just going to reduce it a little bit. And I'm trying to hurry so we can get in as many people as we can. So we have this Audacity recording. I'm going to take it into Abacus. And Abacus is one of the programs waiting there for you to download. So desktop, and I'm going to my WAV file, so that's where I put it. Well, I've lost it. Where did I file? I filed it in the GNS files, didn't I? That's not supposed to be in GNS. I put it in the wrong place. There it is. So that's on radiation, and we're going to say online. So we're going to make up a birthday because we don't want to tell you that she's one of our ancient ones.
I'm very happy to be as productive as I am. I'm kind of proud of it and delighted to know that you're going to help me maintain that for the next decade, Jerry.
Well, but one of the reasons I asked you about the ubiquinone was that is a major anti-aging issue. So we're just going to hit the points here, and the computer's going to choose the points. Now, I'm not happy that it didn't choose this point. This gray grid here is normal, so you can see a lot of her stuff is above normal. And that's one of the things that tells us she's not using her resources. So I'm going to go in here and get rid of this one and just roll over this one. All these instructions are on a PowerPoint. They're in that textbook. They're in the video. So we've got this full size. Here's a list. 1955, 1711, 1515. You can remember some of those. I'm just going to save this list. And now that's supposed to go in GNS. I hear somebody hitting a phone.
That was Gina trying to turn it on so she could hear you.
Okay. Can you give the link to the radiation class replay? I couldn't find it on the site. Okay, it's soundhealthoptions.radiationclass.html, and they were supposed to have the class there. And if the class is not there, I need to know about it, and I need to have them get it back up. We are being bombed probably every other hour, people. Something is going down on our site. So we have saved this group of frequencies here. The next thing is to open our radiation file. And all we have to do is drop in her information. Desktop, GNS, that's on radiation. And there's our list of numbers again. Whoops, and this was an X or something. We need to put a focus on that. That was a high. Okay. I need to go edit that and say that was a high. Now I'm going to unclick everything and just look at radioactive isotopes and see what she's been exposed to. No report means no exposure, so I'm going to increase my variance because we're kind of going through a phone and still no report. Well, that was a failure. Oh, yes, I should put it that way. So there's been no exposure. Please save copy. Okay, let me open another. Okay, I saved it. If we open another file, or if we have another volunteer that I could get to call me, we can look at your voice. Oh, yes, that would be great. Let me see if I can look at exposure here for a minute. Oh, there's none. Oh, here's some. Cesium-137, iodine, and this was Charlie McGrath, a guy that I was on a radio show with. And you can see he has 4 exposures. So at that point, we jump over here, we look at cesium-137, and we begin to do a comparison. So his antidote is vitamin D3, iodine-131. The antidote is glutamine and glutathione. You can buy that as reduced glutathione right in your health food store. Uranium-238, B12 cofactors, and thymidine. Xenon-133, vitamin D3 again. Those must be very close in their frequencies. So we can tell by this what nutritional antidotes and maybe what's going to happen. So let's just do this again. Let's see how many people we can do this for this evening that is with us. So we start with Audacity. We have already read Jean, so we don't need that again. So Gina, are you ready?
Hey, Jerry, I'm here.
Okay, just start talking.
Hey, my name is Gina. I'm 48 years old, and one of the illnesses that I have is I have alopecia areata. I actually have alopecia areata universalis, meaning I have lost hair on my entire body. So I have gone to many doctors and tried to find exactly what the cause was, but as we know, in medical science, they only really know what they're taught, and unfortunately with alopecia, it's autoimmune, and they don't really know what autoimmune disorders are, and particularly what causes alopecia.
Gina, did we do a database for you at all?
No, not yet.
We should.
Okay.
We do have a hair program.
I actually have it, but I also have methylation issues, Jerry, that I'm probably going to work on first.
So,
Going back in quite a bit.
okay. So we're saving this as Gina on radiation, and I'm going to save it where I should. It should be in the waves file now, instead of where I put it in the GNS file. So that's okay. We're going to minimize that, open up our Abacus. Very easy steps. Import Gina's wave file from the desktop waves. And just type in the information, Gina, on radiation. We really should say on hair because that's what she was talking about, online. But we are just looking for one thing. We are looking for radioactive isotopes here. So 12, 12, 12 tells the computer we don't know. Female, and we're looking for radiation just because we're doing a demonstration. So pull the points. Looks good. A little dip right there I might want to look at because that's a very unusual architecture. But for this online demo, we're just going to save the points. And desktop, GNS files. I keep all my stuff by date, so when we open that up again, we should just be seeing her on top. So open a file, open our GNS file, and she should be right there on top. Oh, I don't want to open Beth. I want to open Gina. Now, how did I lose that? Oh, because it put it way down there. I just lied about keeping it in order. Now, notice I only have radioactive isotopes here. One, strontium-90, and it's high. So what are we going to do about that, and what's going to happen? Inhibits calcium, makes breathing impossible, it says. That would be a really big hit of it. Are you having any more trouble breathing?
No, I don't think so. Some days I do feel horrible, and we'll see how.
Well, we don't know if you've been exposed over a long time. We'd have to do this every day or take a print every day to check on it. So the antidote is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. And how this is causing a problem with breathing. If you have a cell, and on each cell there's oxygen sites, meaning the oxygen can go there and be let into the cell. And when there is a heavy metal like strontium, it takes up the receptor site, and it will not give it up to oxygen. The ATP comes along, knocks that guy right out of the receptor site, and holds it open for the oxygen. That's how breathing is influenced here. Now, the fact that it says that you get it through inhalation might be affecting the lungs at the same time. But ATP is the DNA master of how and why your body is being built. It's the first chemical made after conception takes place, and it helps all the rest of the cells divide. You can buy it right at your health food store. It's a little expensive, but it will help. Now, what does it compete with? Inositol. Inositol works with choline to clean up the body, to get rid of brain plaque, to help balance, and I mean physical balance of the body. So a lot of good things going on there. I don't know how it's related to hair, but we could probably look that up somewhere.
Well, it's definitely related to methylation.
Absolutely, yes.
Part of the statement. Thank you, Sharon.
Choline is a biggie about methylation. It's a biggie about Alzheimer's and getting stuff out of the system. It's a biggie about cell respiration and cell communication.
So also detoxify brain time too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it goes very closely with choline. It's good for the thyroid. It's good for memory, along with choline and inositol together. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Right, we've hung up on Gina and Beth. I think we have another volunteer in Alina. Let's see if we can get a microphone to her. Alina, your microphone is open. I'm going to unmute it. Can you talk to us?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can, loud and clear.
Oh, how wonderful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Do you want to be a volunteer?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let us start on this by going to our Audacity. What I want is for this to spread everywhere, especially if you have family or friends on the West Coast. That's where we should start. Or if you can get us in touch with radio stations on the West Coast, any of you. Okay, what's going to happen here, Alina, is you see the numbers at the top, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to push 2, 3, 4. You see those?
I don't. Where do I see it?
Are you not watching the show?
I am watching, but for some reason it just disappeared now. Let me see. Now I see them.
Okay.
Now I see them. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to hit the red button.
Okay.
And you talk to me about anything you would like in any language that you would like for 30 seconds, okay?
Thank you.
Go.
I am very, very grateful to be here. I'm very grateful for your wonderful work. And I very much hope that I will be able one day to return this great blessing that you are spreading in the world, and by doing something as well as spreading it out for others to work with you together.
Okay, I don't think this was a good enough vocal print, so I am going to hop over here and give you the phone number to call in so we can see if we can get a better recording. I will go ahead and look at that while you're calling in.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, I just sent you the phone number, but let's go back and listen to this.
I have a microphone here. Should I put it in and see if it's working better?
No, just call me because this isn't loud enough.
Okay.
So I don't know what this blurb right here was, but we should have cut it out anyway.
Okay.
When you play that, it sounds like there's a reverb on the mic.
I see. Okay.
or a tuba. So we would just cut that out
Okay.
and cut out this noise in the beginning. But go ahead and call.
And what is the number?
I just sent it to you over the chat. Do you have your chat open?
Oh God, I'm so sorry that I'm not versed in.
Okay. Got a pencil and you can write this number down.
Absolutely.
740
Yes.
698
Yes.
188 1. But turn
Okay.
off your speaker or we're going to get feedback. Okay, Irina, is that you?
Yes, it's me.
Okay, turn off your speaker so we don't have to hear you twice because it makes me stutter.
Absolutely, I did. I just did.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we're going to do it again. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting you on my speaker as well as my telephone. So turn off your speaker.
I did turn it off.
Well, I'm still getting a feedback. Walk away from
the computer? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'm away from it now.
Okay, go.
First of all, I'm very sorry that I'm making so many troubles here, and I'm very sorry that I take so much time. I want to express my gratitude for what you are doing and for this tremendous work. I come from a family of 8 doctors, and my twin sister is a doctor too, and I told her about your work, and I would like her very, very much to look into this and to work with it.
My problem is that
Okay, stop.
all the time. I do that very late.
Okay, stop. We got the 30 seconds.
Okay.
And Lydia, let's see who wrote this. Lawrence, I need to talk to you about that before you do it. We do check predictive. I have radioisotopes in predictive. Okay, and another question. You mentioned doing this every day and not another. What does that mean? Well, if you get a little exposure, then your body may take care of it and it may not show up the next day, but you get a big exposure or constant chronic exposure and it begins to break down the body, especially if you're eating dairies or any kind of purplish things. It helps break down those free radicals.
Okay.
I know what I didn't do. I didn't mute her mic, so she was coming to the telephone and her mic at the same time. Okay, first thing to do, we're just going to save this, export it, and, oh, it's already on the way, so we're already there. ILEANAV. Okay, we're going to save her, and then import that wave. The Abacus changes it from voice data to FFT, to numeric data. Now, didn't I just, wait, cancel. I just want to import. What is this? I'm not hitting the right buttons. Oh, I'm on GNS. No wonder I can't find it. I can't run my own computer. So it brings it in and changes it from, okay, I have a twin sister and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Boy, Beth and Gina, who are practitioners, they're going to yell at this and say, methylation, you're not using your incoming resources. That's what all of this above here needs. So you need to call our office and make an appointment so we can look at your methylation.
Thank you. I will.
So ILEANAB. Well, we can't say B there, just on line. And last name starts with B. 12, 12, 12. Female, and we're just checking for radiation. Now, this particular recording of this class is going to be up online also, and it'll stay there for anybody who wants to watch it for the next week. We are only supposed to do this show every other week, but we had so many requests and so many people concerned about this. This is why we've done this way. So we hit a little button and it punches up all these little red circles and tells us what someone's been exposed to. The stuff on top is high, and you can see there's 2 highs, 3 or 4 highs here. And there's 1 low that we should be concerned about. So, Alina, when you call, tell them you want mapping and nutrition and allergies and inflammation, because all of those are a problem in your chart. And any of you who don't want to run the software yourself, then call the office and we'll run this for you. So back to desktop, stick it in GNS files. See, once you get the hang of step, this is pretty easy to do. So we're only running radioactive isotopes. I'll show you the next step. Strontium-90 is high, just like we looked at with Gina. So what do you do with that strontium-90 being high? I'm going to go back and see what that strontium-90 affects. I'm going to look at the proteins, the hormones, the minerals, flavonoids, because that helps get rid of it, amino acids, enzymes. So we can look at that frequency of the strontium-90 and see what else it's causing a problem with in the body. Wow. So glutamine, now this is high and low at the same time. That probably means it's a muscle the same frequency as the glutamine. Because when you see something high or low, your biochemistry can't be high or low at the same time. Well, that's a lie. Sometimes it can. In one system it's high, in another it's low. But if I was doing this, I would look at muscle for that particular frequency. And I'm trying to think what muscle that would be. It would be, no, it's the first 2 fingers is that frequency. Well, I may be lying to you. It may be in the neck. We'd have to look it up. But carnitine, you do not want carnitine high. It needs fatty acids to work. So you may not be getting the fatty acids. What happens with these reports is we send you a little packet, NUTRI, nutrition, NUTRITION. I am looking for our nutrients, our NUT, I wish I could spell here. NUTRI, is it nutrient? NUTRI. I'll just put assimilation, ASSIMIL. It's the nutrient, that's the word I need, nutrient assimilation chart. You get this little packet and you can download it. It's called the pastel folder on that radiation class, and it will tell you to look at carnitine. These are amino acids. Carnitine needs vitamin A and vitamin C, iron, B1, B6, lysine, methionine. So when your carnitine is high, it may not have its sister components with it. So that's probably what it ends up doing. Taurine is also high. Let's see what taurine needs to make it work. Taurine also deals with arthritis. Utilization of calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium, made from cysteine as the body has enough B6 and zinc. So let's see what's common there with the carnitine. Vitamin A, no. Vitamin C, no. Iron, B1, B6, there it is. B6 is the commonality between those two, so you may not be using enough B6. So you can go back and put all these pieces together. So we know that carnitine, even though you're taking it, you're not utilizing it. So if you just think it's because it's too high, back off on your dosage just a little. I'm not allowed to tell you that. and see if this will come back down into normal. And if it's normal, it just won't show up. And the same with taurine. You might need food-based nutrients. Since you have a mapping problem, try food-based nutrients rather than chemical-based ones.
What about the sugar metabolism? I think that I have a problem with it because sometimes I feel hypoglycemic.
That's another thing that you can have them run for you. We have an issue, one called insulin resistance and another one called BioDiet that can tell you how you're dealing with sugar. So these are just, looks like herb-based flavonoids, which help get rid of those free radicals, so we're not going to worry about those. Magnesium is high. What do you need to make magnesium high? This calcium may eliminate radioactive isotopes stored in the bone. So this may be high just because it's high, but it may be high because you're not using it. So again, right back to that wonderful nutrient assimilation chart that's available for you on the site. And back to magnesium, calcium. Oh, you needed calcium for carnitine too. B group, you needed a B group of vitamins for both of the things that you had in stress. B6, look, with the, B6 seems to be a constant with you. Where could we get B6? Medicure now owns the patent for B6. Rice bran. Where else would you get it? Don't know. Potassium iodide. That's what they give you to protect your thyroid if you've been exposed. So we need to get all of these back into balance. Are you located any place near a bioacoustic practitioner? Have you looked on the map on our site? Go to clinical services. Let me open that up. So up to the home, and then we're going to go to clinical services. And there's a map there that will tell you where to find practitioners, or there's a list, either one. Or you can call the office, and it'll give you a list. A lot of people very recently have went off the list, so we're redoing it. They just got more business than they can deal with. So we need to get more practitioners. So you've got this free class, go for it, and free software so people can start their bioacoustic evaluations. Think about this. A free class, you buy a $15, $20 microphone, and people are charging $10, $20, $30, $50 for these evaluations and helping people with this chart. So you're going to be able to just download this chart and help people use it. Well, don't download it till I get the flow name on it, or just download it and get an upgrade. And we'll notify you when an upgrade is available. It has to be done. Thank you for that, but it just has to be done. I think I just closed one of your reports. I'm going to go back and look. We looked at that one, and that one, and that one. We did not look at the proteins. Now, here's your problem. Glutathione peroxidase. I bet this is in your genes, too, and I didn't look at genes. You don't have the enzymes to use glutathione. Look at how many times and how many different ones. This can wreck your entire system, because without this glutathione, you can't process minerals. Look at that. Glutathione, you can go to your health food store and we'll get one that's bioavailable, but you've got genetic problems with it. Let's uncheck all of this and go look at your genome. Now, the genomes come in and warn you that something's going on, but it's the proteins that do the dirty job. And there's not only the proteins, but the genes. Most of the genes, the body's so redundant, but it looks like most of the genes in your case they're not working, or they're working so well, things are just moving through so fast that it's not stopping to be useful. So getting that glutathione peroxidase, it's milk-based. I have an idea. There is a man by the name of Stephen Huer, it's either H-U-E-R or H-E-U-R. I think it's H-U-E-R. And he runs a thing called Cocoon, like a thing that a moth is tied up in, Cocoon Nutrition. Now, if you tell him that you've been on our show or that you come from our office, he'll give you a 15-minute free nutritional evaluation. And you tell him you need glutathione, but you're a vegetarian.
Okay.
And he can help you through that. And if he needs to look at your reports, then yes, we can do that. We can send these reports to him.
Thank you, Sharon. And where is he? Is he in Los Angeles?
North Carolina.
Okay, good. But he can do it on the phone?
Yes.
Okay.
So we've got the genes here that are a problem, and the proteins that are a problem. The genes, let's see which ones are on both. Peroxidase 6, 7, A1, A5, alpha 5. Okay, let's look at the proteins, because that'll tell you which one are activated. 6, wasn't 6 on the other one, and A5, M5 was on there too. So you've got those three as a problem. Now, not all of them, because glutathione peroxidase 3 is not on the gene list. I'll go back and show that to you again. Okay, here's the genome list, and notice the 3 is not on it. But the 5 and the 6 is. So you look at the proteins, because that means it's been activated, the 6 and the A5. So those are the two most important ones. The 3 is just the protein is there, but the gene is not activated, so it's not as urgent. So any of you, and we're running out of time, any of you who want this done for you, anybody know your friends, get them this software, get them this link, and they can watch this class over and over and over to learn how to use it. One other thing for you, Elena, predictive. If you don't take care of this, this is what's going to be a problem. Anti-aging, body repair, these just tell you that these things are going to be in stress. Allin, A-L-L-I-N, possesses antioxidants properties, anti-aging, body repair. There's more than one page of this. A lot of these are herbs. So the ability to use those herbs are going to be compromised. And you don't want anything dealing with your choline. That's a biggie. A lot of these I don't understand, and we'd have to look them up. Oh, a DOPA receptor. That means dopamine would go. That means self-signaling would be an issue. Look at this. Three pages of this. 4 pages of this. I've never seen 4 pages. The other glutathione, the 3 is going to go. The 7 is going to get worse. Linolenic acid, NADH, which is one of the enzymes for the liver. Nicotine, adenosine diphosphate. That helps make your... I'm sorry, what?
Can all this be improved?
I think they can be improved nutritionally. Talk to Steve. I know they can be improved with sound. 5, look, there's 5 pages of this. 6, 6 pages of predictive. So I can say to you the worst is yet to come. I'm hoping if we can find a practitioner near you, get a very accurate reading on you by having you take this reading yourself and send it to us as a wave rather than a telephone, because the telephone is restricted. It's a filtered microphone. So we need to get a very, very accurate reading from you, and they can send you the instructions and information.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome. Just call tomorrow, and I will turn your name in and tell them you have 6 pages of predictive issues, because that concerns me. Usually it's 1 or 2 pages, but not 6. So as you're using this radiation software, that's free, the textbook's free, the video's free, the class is free, the articles are free. There is no reason why any person in the United States who has a computer and a microphone shouldn't be able to use this software and counteract the damage that's happening with this radioactive fallout. And from what I learned on Sunday, or this weekend doing these mathways, I was appalled at how man-made this looks. How deconstruction, I said that wrong, deconstruction, how tearing down of the body to make it unhealthy looks very man-made. The numbers are there. I don't know who said it, that there's only one health, but there's many diseases. And we want to support health. We think the state of your health is in the sound of your voice. And this Fukushima fallout, eating irradiated foods, microwaving our food, some of us, that's killing our body one cell at a time. We're breaking down. We're not able to replenish our DNA. This is what I want to help stop. Why? Because it's too important to ignore, like our government's doing. This is health for the people, by the people, in support of self-health. We want to support optimal form and function. Okay, Lawrence, I would like you to stay on with us. Our time is up, but I would like you to stay on with us, and I'm going to write a bit to you or talk to you privately about your suggestion here. Thank all of you for being here. It feels like it was an absolute whirlwind. Yeah, she had a radioactive isotope, predicted one. It was zinc, that her zinc is going to be distorted on that last page. Isn't this Gina's chart? Yes, it is Gina's. Did we not dump hers in? Did we do that? Am I that strange that I would do that? And I just scared Alina to death here? He's right. Alina was up there instead of yours. Let me look back at this. Okay, Gina, you're going to have to look at the rest of this because we were doing your chart there with all 6 of those on there. Going back a little bit and look at the isotopes. CLMT is an issue with cell signaling. DOPA is cell signaling. Glutathione cell signaling. You still have a lot of that glutathione stuff going on. Nuclear factor kappa 2, so your immune system is on overload. That your body is fighting really hard to keep itself up and running. Your immune system's compromised here. And I apologize for just scaring the bejesus out of you and reading Gina's chart. Well, she's a practitioner, so she should be able to look at this. But these are your radioactive isotopes that you've been exposed to. It looks like it. Did you see the article that we first showed when we started the show?
No, I just discovered you yesterday.
Okay, hold on just a second. Let me get this article up for you, because that's where we started all of this. This is an article by Mike Adams, who we trust, and I took this link and put it in the chat so that you can look it up. But you could look under the name Dangerous Levels of Fukushima Radiation Headed for West Coast. So we read 2 paragraphs of this. The worst of Fukushima's radiation releases will make its way across the Pacific and hit American coastline. So that's why we're trying to get to everybody on the West Coast that we possibly can. Find some radio shows for us to be on. Lawrence, if you can stay tuned, just give me a few minutes here. I would appreciate it. And I think Lawrence saved my hide here by pointing out that was Gina's chart. So thank you, Lawrence. But go read this article. It talks to you about what's going to happen to the West Coast.
And is there a remedy for that, Sherry?
Okay, when we looked at your charts here, and we just looked at the radioactive isotopes unchecked, we found 2 things, and we showed this chart as we went along. You have radioactive iodine 131. So look at this. Its antidote is the glutamate and glutathione, just what your chart said. And it is a competitor to your zinc, and that's one of the things Lawrence saw. He said on your predictive, the very last thing was there was a zinc problem. So that iodine, radioactive iodine, is going to interfere with your body's use of zinc. It's going to compete with the use of zinc here. So strontium-90, it interferes with your ability to use inositol. And its antidote is ATP. You can get that as, I love that, Terry. ATP, you can get that at your health food store, and you can also get this glutamate and glutathione. But from what I know, it's from whey, from milk products. So you're going to call Steve Hewer at that Cocoon Nutrition. Go online and find him and tell him the circumstance. He is a nutritionist.
I actually know him because years ago I was using him. I was using something that he was offering, and because of that product, he had problems with the government.
Yes, and he is wearing an ankle bracelet right now, and they just slapped him again because he wrote a story about curing his own diabetes. So the natural,
I remember now that you repeat his name, Cocoon Nutrition, I remember that.
Okay. Call the office tomorrow and set up a real appointment so we can look at this.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you very, very, very much.
Well, you are welcome. I think working together we can all get this done. And Terry writes to me, I'm on the West Coast. Let's get this underway. Absolutely. Get to any group. We will do a presentation. We will give you permission to run this video. We will give you the 2-hour class. We'll instruct people on how to do this. It's we the people. Yes, let's get this underway. Terry, I'm ready. What is thyroid is already dead? Probably. We just need to get it up and running, and we can do that with sound. We did, and I know I'm running over, and I'm sorry, but I am so excited about this case we did this morning. A guy came in, it was an emergency, and we accept emergency cases sometimes. He had opened a beer. Now, remember guys, this is about 10 o'clock this morning, and the guy had flipped open a beer with his finger, and the raw edge, the sharp edge, slipped him in the eye. And, he says he can't see, he's very sensitive to light, and he doesn't have the money to go to the doctor or the emergency room, and he's heard that we can help. Okay, we lead him back to the lab, and I have my own little special lab, and then a big lab downstairs, but my lab, we took him there so he wouldn't have to go up a lot of stairs and stuff or down. And his vocal print was so beautiful. He had damaged the lens of the eye. The rectus inferior muscle was involved. It didn't take any more than 10 minutes to get this man out of pain. Saved him probably thousands of dollars at the emergency room. No telling what they would have done and said, okay, well, you've detached your retina and we've got to do this and we've got to put stitches in there and blah, 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 blah. We found it so quick, so easy, that the body healed itself in about a half hour or so. He could see fine again and he had no pain. Wouldn't you like to see that for everybody on the planet? I think that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to write that up. That is so exciting. And we're doing this whole project with insulin. They're pretending there's an insulin shortage, and I realize I'm on my soapbox here. And now they're saying anybody who's on a product, a medication that is in short supply, if they're 62 years or older, they can ration it for those people. Thank you, Obamacare. And if you're over 72, they can withhold it altogether. So we are running these studies trying to produce insulin by sound. And people, it's working. And as long as you have a little tone box, you can have all the insulin you want. This is the new medicine. Beth said, AT&T made an announcement that this is the medicine, the new medicine of the future. Yes, it is. These are the things that we are doing. And we are having trouble with people with VoIP phones because they're so filtered. And if everybody gets VoIP phones, we can't do vocal prints over the telephone. Is that where they're going? Are they trying to cut us off at the pass so we can't do that? Well, as long as you have a microphone and we can get you instructions on how to send us a vocal print, or your friends or your family or anybody else, we can do these reports online for you. But we would much rather just give you the software and have you do it for yourself. Terry, let's get together and get a project started wherever you are in California. And Lawrence, Dr. Deagle and I have had words, so you need to call me and we need to talk about that before you approach him with anything. And I will explain the words we have, and then you can make a decision whether you want to go on with that. So Lawrence, I will give you my phone number where I am right now. And as soon as I'm off the air here, I can't even type my own phone number. As soon as I'm off the air here, we can talk about this a bit. So it's all around you on the internet about what the damage Fukushima is doing. The statistics are there. The damage is being collected. Go to Dr. John Apsley, and it's under Dr. Apsley, D-O-C-T-O-R, drapsley.com, and you can see the damage that's being done and the statistics that he is keeping on his site. It's in our hands now. So thank you for being here. I see that Tommy joined us. He runs one of our forums. Thank you, Tommy, for being here. I'm just here preaching about radiation and what we should do about it. If you think this is a worthwhile class and a worthwhile presentation, please, as soon as you get the link, post it on your internet, your Facebook, your Twitter to anybody and let them know this is waiting for them. Thanks for being here.